Welcome to the Sonia Buchanan Show, where we inspire one life, one smile at a time. Great day, everyone. It is time for the Sonia Buchanan Show, where we inspire one life, one smile at a time. Listen, we have a great show for you today, and it's called Your Brand Extended. And we're going to dive into the discussion for today right after this commercial, and we'll be right back.
Did you know by being the best you in just 60 seconds a day can add up to a positive, better you in a total of 365 minutes a year? That's 6 hours exactly. Be the best you, even if it's slowly achieved by seconds. You'll gain more to being a prosperous you. Remember, as you take steps, whether they're small or large, the end results will be surprisingly great. Visit us on comfortingpromises.com, and while you're there, visit our store with the latest products available.
Welcome back to the Sonia Buchanan Show, where we inspire one life, one smile at a time. Again, the name of our show today is Your Brand Extended. I wanted to go into a little bit more detail. A couple weeks ago, I posted a bullet point called Your Brand, and I wanted to extend it on our show today, go into a little bit more detail and how important it is to represent your brand, to represent you as the logo whenever someone come across you or pass you or see you from afar. The first thing they see is you. And I mentioned that when a person see you, you will be considered the logo. And that logo is, when they see you as the logo, in their mind, they go through the experiences. Or even if they just met you. Sometimes we give off this aura, and we can see how a person is. You know how sometimes you can just see the characteristics of the person, and you know that they are sincere and warm. It's because your logo representation, your characteristics, your charisma and personality, it just oozes out of you, and you know that there is a warm person. That is a representation of a logo that you and your characteristics is emphasizing to the public. That is for those who don't know you, and for those who have experienced you, they have an experience that they have taken upon themselves. When they see you, they are warm. They can either be warm or bitter, or they can remember how they felt when they embraced your personality when there was a one-on-one conversation. And that logo is so important, how you deliver yourself to the public, and also not only to the public, even to yourself. You stand a vast amount of experience when you experience yourself, whether or not you are charismatic to yourself, whether you're organized, whether you go through an experience that you would never give up, just certain little things and that you experience with yourself, with the public, with your family, everyone that comes in contact. Is so important that you find what it is about you as a logo and about your brand that represent the good qualities that you possess. And I wanted to extend this and make it fun, because life is intended to be an experience, a good experience. You know, although we go through a lot of different things, ups and downs, but the overall experience we should experience is a good one. And being a logo and a representation of your brand, that is very important. It will get you through a lot of difficult things in life. But I want to share something. When I was younger, about 8, and I had an aunt who used to be a property management for an apartment, and she would hire the kids, my nephews and my cousins, and she would hire us to clean the stairways in the apartments. And so when we finished sweeping and picking up all the paperwork, she would give us money to buy sodas out of the vending machine. Back in the day, the soda was 35 cents. So she would give this. But there was a difference between the brand Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola experience back in the day, the Cokes was a little bit stronger. She would give us 35 cents and we would buy our favorite soda. And the experience that I felt drinking a Coca-Cola out of a glass bottle that comes out of the vending machine was an experience for all of us. It was cold, it was strong, it gives you this tingling in your nose. And that is how I remembered Coca-Cola. And still to this day, in my later years, that's what I remember experiencing the brand Coca-Cola. It would never go away. And I wanted to share that because this is how it is important for your brand that you do the best representation of you, because when you experience another person and another person experience you, that memory never goes away. Although you may, if it wasn't a good experience, you may forgive the person, you may, in a negative way, a slightly way, but that memory really never goes away. Although I hear the illogical people say, well, you can experience and forget. No, you don't ever forget it. It's just a memory. And I want to emphasize that today when we're talking about, again, our title is called Your Brand Extended. There are certain people on my journey in life that their brand, I would never forget the good memories of them. In fact, there is a safe haven when they participated in representing their brand. Although this is a topic today that I have extended what it really is. And you just don't forget it. This is one of those back down memory lanes, and also bringing it back to a current to remember that some people have branded themselves so well that it leaves memories, child memories, adult memories, extended memories, and you just never forget, and it gives you this warm feeling. This is something that I would like to represent as a good experience. I make it an effort sometimes when I've journeyed through life and I think about how my delivery and the person receiving it may have concluded my delivery in a way that I was not expected. I give an example. There was a time when I should have come across someone in a way, and I was in a hurry. And because of my in a hurry moment, it left my experience with that person in a negative way, because that's how they received it. I had to go back to apologize to them and let them know that I had an emergency and did not mean to offend them. And I explained why I was in a hurry, but I had to go back to fix it. Sometimes you have to do that, especially when your delivery and your experience with that person was not what the person received, so that your branding will not affect especially if you're in business and in entrepreneurship, or you're a person who is delivering a product, such as selling products and selling of songs and these things. And it's so important that you don't mess up your brand for that reason. But let's talk about your logo as you as a person and how it will affect your life long term. I know every day we live our life and we never think about 10 years or 20 years from now. We just think about right now. But 10 to 20 years is going to come up. And sometimes people have a tendency to go and start researching and start communicating and investigating and people who you have encountered and had relationships with, and they want to do histories. We do it every day when we're filling out applications for anything. They will go back and they ask for references, and those references can either harm you or bless you. based on the representation of your logo or the experience that that person had with you. And although this subject today may be very minimal to some people, but actually it's a huge thing that your representation, your logo, your experience, your brand should be emphasized and thought about every single day when you are embracing people. And, it is amazing because when I was on this journey learning to do what I do, I was studying so thorough in the Word of God. And my intentions was not to become a preacher or an evangelist or anything like that, but I wanted to give the foundation to make sure that I was walking in a way that that I understood God's principles, so that when I'm dealing with the public, I can always go back to his brand, which is principles and concepts and his ways and his thoughts and things like that, so I can make sure that I stay on the grounded and foundation. But I had an experience, and I used to take the transit to work every day, and I would just study and read books and whatever to do to keep you entertained. And I will always have people to approach me and ask me questions. Now, I didn't say anything or anything like that, but they just assumed that I would have the answer. Just strangers would come to me all the time. I would get Spanish, Mexicans, just different people that would just approach me all the time in the transit. It used to frighten me at first, but I didn't understand it until I had to pray about it and ask what was happening. That is something that when you're representing a brand, people will be able to see what you represent. They can see the type of person that you are representing, your logo and your brand. And even when we're dealing with the presidential race, what a person have done 20, 30, 40 years prior, they will go back and research and find out who was this person? Who is this person? What did they do? It's all about that logo and brand. And if you don't know what I'm saying to be true, think about everyone that always researching you, pulling things out of the dark and bringing it back to the light and presenting it to the public. And then they make a declaration stating that you're not fit for a particular position because of something you've done 20, 30 years ago. And how important it is to represent your brand at every cost, especially if you have a purpose and a plan for a future experience. People will pull up things from the dark area that you think no one knows about. They will find it. And so I wanted to talk to you about today about branding, making sure that you brand yourself correctly, especially now that we are in a digital world. It's almost like all the four corners of the global world, we're connected now because of the internet. And I know now it is very, very urgency that we represent ourselves on a digital platform, because on the web, nothing is erased. I just want to just emphasize that nothing is erased. Whatever you put on the internet can resurface. Everything is going on to this reel and is kept. So although you may delete something, it can be researched and pulled back up. And voila, something that you thought you had deleted is now at surface. This is something, again, representing your brand on the digital web, because it never goes away. Especially when you are experiencing a person, their brand, and you have this warm feeling about them, that never goes away. In fact, it gives you this security to say, oh, this person would never do this. This is not their characteristics. And you want to have someone to express that to other people about you. Oh, although they may not even like you, but they know, oh, this person is never going to do that. I don't like the person. You hear people say, I don't like that person, but I know that person didn't do that. Despite the fact that I don't like them, I know that's outside of their character. That is outside of what they represent. They're not going to bend this way and bend that way. That's out of character. I've experienced so many times of watching others speak of that. Oh, that's not their character. And that's out of character. You just know that someone's brand is just what it is. They're not going to go outside of the character. That's when you start to say, this is a warning, something is wrong, and it's so important that you represent. It's so important that you stay consistent, because it could either save your life as well as it can bless your life, or it could destroy your life. But being able to represent your brand and your logo representing yourself, how you present yourself to the world, can make a huge difference long term for your life. And I wanted to talk to you all about how important it is, and also teaching your children about being a representation of their brand. I remember being in school that a person could be a bully. And you grow up and you remember this person used to be a bully. You think about, what are they doing right now in their life, although they was a bully in school, because you have that stigma about them. They created a brand that they were a bully. You never forget that. I know this is something probably you think, why would she say that? Why are we talking about this? Because it is important. It is important that you do and set the right course. Even if you haven't represented your brand correctly, today will be a great day to get started in changing that. Maybe going back to and apologizing to people that you have offended, because I can guarantee the people that you have offended, when you were not representing your brand, they will never forget it. And they may be a little, slightly not trusting you because you didn't represent your brand. I don't know about you, but I'm not one of those people who are disrespectful to people who are disrespectful to me. But in the back of my head, I remember the disrespect. And I can remember that I probably won't trust you in a situation where I will go for a safe haven, because of your representation of your brand. Because being older, you should represent, you should know better. But I will not disrespect you, I just won't trust you. And this is something I want to just bring awareness today about representing your brand, and being cautious about it, because it affecting people. We're living in a totally different world from 20 years ago. And so I wanted to talk about it today, because we are in a different world. We're going into a digital world, and we are not even sure what's real and what's not that is being placed on the web or digital and experiencing. We're dealing with different AI representations, and you can't even know that this is an AI representation unless you have experienced the person on a realness, and you'll know that this is AI. There's something about it, but that it's very important that you represent your brand correctly, because it's so sneaky that you won't even know that this is an AI or this is a real person. This is why it's very important that you represent every second of the day, to be proud and to be conscious of your delivery, conscious of what is expected of you, conscious of what you're teaching your children to represent your brand as a family, teaching your friends, being around great people and enthusiastic people that will be representing your brand. You know, we go through a course of life. Everyone is actually really logo and branded. When you go through different companies and you're wearing their uniform, you are a representation of that company's brand. And I did not even think about this until I was doing this show today, how when I work for a company that says that you still represent the company, even when you're off work. And I know how terrible that is, but it is what it is, especially if you're wearing their logo and their clothing, their badges with your face on it. It's all a representation. So it's just a course of life itself anyway. And I just wanted this show is not going to be long today. I just wanted to talk to you about that logo, how important it is, and the brand that you represent, because it's extended everything that we do in life, whether it's the company, whether it's your family, whether it's yourself, what if it is your extended legacy of your family. It's all a representation, and you want to be the best you everywhere you go, because it could bless you long term. It could cause people to mention your name when you're not even in the room. You know, I remember, and I just want to share this, and I'm going to end the show today. I remember going to Tennessee to experience the Stellar Awards. And I wanted to experience what it's like to go through the award show and all the different classes that they have during that weekend. And I remember driving to Tennessee and experiencing it, and I had the most exciting time. I drove to the award ceremonies alone. So when I drove up on that Saturday morning, and it was crowded. They had a lot of people, and I was excited. And I remember walking up towards this hotel, and where they were having all these different classes for the ceremony. And there was a young lady that was walking in the building with me. And I was so excited, just looking lost, basically. And I asked her, I said, is this the correct hotel for the ceremony, whatever the title was? And the young lady had such a nasty attitude, as if I was bothering her as we were walking towards the door. And her attitude was really nasty. So I go into the facility, one of the events that they were having, and they were having questions and answers with the producers and the people. And so we took a break, and then we had entertainment. And there was a young lady who was supposed to have been singing in the midst of the event. And lo and behold, the lady that was singing for the event was the lady I was walking into the building with. She was singing gospel music with her nasty attitude. And I tell you, I learned from that experience what caused me to do this show, because I was thinking about that experience, that this lady could have won a fan base only if she did not have that attitude. Because I'm one of those type of people, like my father, he buys everybody's music, whether it's gospel, whether it's jazz, whether it's R&B, blues. My father represented everybody. She could have had a long-term fan base. I would just bought her music without even listening to her music. But because her attitude and her nastiness, as we were walking into that room, she was singing on that stage, representing the Stellar Awards and singing gospel. I closed my ears. I did not want to hear it, because when I think about the gospel, I think about Jesus Christ's brand, as he is love, joy, peace, long-suffering, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. And she did not represent her job, and she was singing the gospel for life, to give life, to represent the Stellar Awards. And I'm going to tell you something. Because of that experience, I have no idea who she is, because I blocked her out. I did not want to hear or buy or see or read or anything about this person, this woman. I just completely just shut her out of my mind. And this is what this show is about today. how that experience have jacked up her. I shouldn't say jacked up, but that experience that I had with her, she lost a fan base. She lost money. She lost me buying her CDs and blessing other people with her music because of that. It wasn't even called for. She did not represent her brand. She did not represent she did not represent her brand personally. She did not represent the brand for the Stellar Awards, and she did not represent the brand of the gospel. So it's really not about you yourself. It's about the overall concept of life. And I want to extend a greeting today. That is there something that you're doing that is messing up your presentation that you extend to the public that can be altered and changed so people will be embraced and have a great experience, a long-term experience when they come across you. So that's what I want to talk to you all about today. It's not anything that we are not conscious about, but it is something that is very important, that it's an expression, a daily expression, that we should represent ourselves, our brand, our logo, to the public, to ourselves, the best way that possibly we can do every single day, consciously, knowing that we're representing ourselves to the best possibly way. And if not, we can always make changes to do that. Okay? This is the end of our show today, and I hope you enjoyed it. Just wanted to give you some things to think about. When we are waking up every day and we have an embrace ourselves, it's the first encounter, and then we embrace the world. Are you representing yourself? Are you branding yourself every day? Because although the little steps may not seem a huge impact, but it really is a huge impact. Okay? So this is your girl, Sonia Buchanan, with the Sonia Buchanan Show, where we inspire one life, one smile at a time. Listen, you guys, I want you to go and be the best possible you. Listen, stop by our website and stop by the store and take a look at some of the t-shirts that we are representing. We have a book that is on the market that I believe that will bless you every day. It's called The Echo of Wisdom, a symphony, a orchestra. I always just mess up my title. It is The Echo of Wisdom, a symphony. What is it? Orchestra, y'all. It is so terrible that I did not say that right. It is The Echo of Wisdom, a symphony of quotation. I just wanted to put an orchestra in there. Sorry about that. It is The Echo of Wisdom, a symphony of quotation. That is our latest book that is on the market, and my representation and my branding for that, I just messed that up. Clearly, I just messed it up. I do apologize. But listen, take a look at some of the things on our store. Of course, you know that the proceeds of the t-shirts goes to the people that we help in our community with Confident Promises. It really will help. You can always give to our foundation, Confident Promises broadcast, or you can just make a purchase, because the purchases does go towards that cause. But listen, I want you all to go and having a great day and a great week, and we will be back with you the next time. Bye, you guys.
Thank you for joining our podcast today. The podcast was produced and edited by Sonia Buchanan. For more information about the host, you can go to soniabuchanan.com. For information about Confident Promises broadcast community, you can go to confidentpromises.com.